Hey folks, this is Bailey from Dank Wargaming,
Hey, this is Heath with Team Table War Hawaii.
and welcome to the Path to Redemption, the Warhammer 40,000 Dark Angels podcast, where our aim is to provide Dark Angels players with the tactical and hobby skills that they need in order to compete and enjoy in this wonderful hobby of ours. On this month's episode, the July episode, we're going to look at some new releases for Warhammer 40,000 for the Dark Angels. There's a ton of new lists with the new detachment in our Meta Watch. Heath's going to talk about his tournament experience in our featured segment. Heath and I are going to compare our most excellent Roby boys from last month's Hobby Challenge, see if we got them done in this last month. Then finally, we'll wrap up the month with our community comments as always. So, looking at new releases, you can get not one, but two drop pods for $80. So, if you want one of the new drop pods, they are you get two. So, find a buddy and split it. The new Saturnine box is out for Heresy, $315. It's got new Terminators, a new Dreadnought. So if you like the Heresy, got that kind of stuff. There's also some Mark II Tactical Marines for Heresy that are $85. So imagine if something happens and Tactical Marines suddenly become super meta again, you can get a bunch of them very quickly thanks to all the Heresy, and you can swap them in and out with a lot of cool bits. So that's always something in the back of my head I'm always thinking about is like, man, Tactical Marines got cool again, just out of the blue. There's so many options with Heresy now for plastics. It'd be a lot of fun.
I've got so many Tactical Marines, man. I don't know. Yeah.
So then sort of, it's kind of like a preview to the future. I saw this, came out right before 4th of July. So the new Space Marine Heroes is coming out. So they're all Dark Angels. So we've got a Stern Guard Sergeant, we've got an Infernus Marine, Assault Intercessor, an Infiltrator, an Intercessor, and a Reaver. These are all supposed to be like a kill team that as you buy them, you get like little box. It comes with the rules for kill team. They're all randomized. And there is like a secret 7th lieutenant. And just kind of looking at, in fact, he's got a knife. It looks like he's got a knife in like the little secret preview. I'm hoping he's not a Reaver lieutenant. I'm hoping that he's just like a customized lieutenant with combi weapon, or at least if he's got the knife, we can at least combi him. You know, he's got some way we can turn him into the combi weapon lieutenant. Because that seems to be what everybody's running. So it'd be really cool if we got like a custom Dark Angels one in this box set, but we don't know, so we got to wait. And then the thing that was at the end of the article that I really liked was they come in green plastic. You're welcome to paint them whatever colors you like, although our editor assures us that green armies are better than all the other armies. So shout out to all the Orc players out there too. You know, the editor at White Dwarf or at the Warhammer community loves us, the Dark Angels, and you as well. And I guess the Salamanders, I guess they're green. So that is the new releases. Tournaments. We had quite a few results this week or this month.
We have a lot to talk about.
I'm going to try and pull this up so we can see this because it makes editing so much easier when I actually do this. All right. Okay. We can see what's going on here. I got it at like 50%. So quite a few lists. I think when I counted, there's some like 16 lists that I looked at from this period. So going through all of them individually will take a lot of time, and we're kind of on limited time today, so that will not happen. But we will give everybody a shout out probably towards the end, so everybody's name at least gets to make the podcast. As per usual, we have sort of the main units that we always see in green. So we're Heath. We're talking about Azrael. We're talking about Deathwing Knights. Multiple iterations. Intercessors are kind of made the green cut.
I do like that. I think that intercessors being the sticky objectives is the thing that you need here, so that you can sticky your home, and you're only really trying to control home for like 2/3 of the missions. So then you can push forward, or like if they get aced off the objective, then okay, at least I hold primary for another turn. So. And don't sleep on the amount of damage output that they can put out. Like I had one unit of Tactical Marines, 1 unit of 5 Tactical Marines kill 2 Custodian Venatari in shooting.
That's
like,
really good.
Here's 20 bolter shots, right? And he failed enough to kill one, and then the crack grenade killed another one because he failed to save, and I rolled 3 damage. And I was very happy about that. So.
Yeah. I thought I put a small error in here in Michael's list, his Gladius Task Force, that he had 3, and I thought that was a typo. No, he actually ran 3 Intercessor squads at the Bristol Super Major. It was a 5-round, 429 player event. He went 4-1 with Gladius Task Force and got 86th place. But he ran 3 intercessor squads in one list, which I have not seen that. I almost want to say ever.
I tried doing something like that. I was like, man, Wrath is going to make our infantry so durable. So I ran a pure like infantry Stormwing list, and it was into a bad matchup. It was into a combined arms guard army with a lot of Rogal Dorns,
no.
and it was I was doing okay, but yeah, like I had 10 heavy intercessors and they got picked up in 1 shooting activation by a Rogal Dorn. So oh well. So
you need more crack
right.
grenades on that Rogal Dorn.
Yeah.
That's what you needed.
Okay.
And then also in green, we've got Combo Weapon Lieutenant, so we like that, and Outriders, as well as Scouts. And for the most part this month, I feel like a single Scout squad seemed to be the most prominent. There were a couple lists that had 2. Then there were about 4 that didn't have any Scouts at all. But 1 Scout squad seems fine, so I don't feel any rush to go paint the second squad that I have in my paint box.
I think the Lieutenant with Combi Weapon is really good because he's the same cost as the Scouts. He's harder to shoot than the Scouts. Gives you the same, he doesn't score secondaries quite as well because you can't uppy downy him, but giving you that, like if you pick the objective right, getting the reroll ones to wound is very important. And he can sit behind a wall or this and just do mid-board secondaries. He can sabotage, right? He can area deny, and they're just really hard to interact with. And it was just that one little piece of scoring tech that gets you a lot of efficiency when you're trying to put so much of your effort and so much of your list into killing, right? And durability with Wrath. So I'm a big fan of that.
And he protects the lion too. He screen blocks.
And he can protect the lion. So you can springboard the lion to him as you move forward. Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
And then I guess the other thing to talk about, Heath and I kind of mentioned the pre-bit, is looking at the yellow things this month, because I think they kind of show some trends that were there and then are kind of gone away. Like Ballistas, I guess, is the first one where like it's kind of a trend. It's here, but it's not. We didn't see Calidus Assassin for the big chunk, like for almost a month, but then Calidus Assassin has started to come back into lists. It showed up 3 times. Yeah. Although 2 of those lists are run by the same person, which is Mr. Bennett. So so that kind of is cheating in a way because he's got 2 lists in here, so he counts as double, but they were slightly different lists.
I think the Ballistas is it's cheap shooting, right? That's kind of self-supports with rerolls, and it is you need at least one thing with that to keep people honest when you're playing Wrath. So you can just hey, you can't just deploy completely out in the open because there is a chance I could just smoke you on turn 1, right? And so I think that's why the Ballistas keeps popping up, because you just need one ranged shooting threat, right?
Right.
And
it's interesting you say 1.
So yeah,
right. Well, and it's interesting you say 1 because it was trending that you'd run multiple, because there were some people that ran 2 and there's someone that ran 3. And then it immediately went to 1 when it did show up again. So the idea that you'd have multiple of them has kind of gone away. Where there was a period where before they got a points hike, right, where everybody was running multiple ones, and that was
look at the difference. Look at the difference in the list here, though, right? So this gentleman running the Company of Hunters, where he had 3 of them, right? Well, it's serving a different function, right? Because the Company of Hunters, it's advancing and shooting, and there it's basically your durable wall as it runs forward. Right. Whereas in Wrath, it is not that, right? It's not a primary source of damage output. It's just it's just here to keep you honest, like we said. It'll sit in your backfield, stand on an objective, maybe throw a shot or 2, shoot a couple times. It'll do an action if you need to. So it serves a different function in those lists. One's primarily shooting, and one is primarily kind of more melee focused. So, and then for the Invaders, I'm a big fan of the Invaders because it's 60 points. It is one of the cheapest units in the Codex. It's fast, it's durable at 8 wounds, it's toughness 5, and so in Wrath, it's surprisingly hard to interact with. And you can just do actions right? And it reduces the efficiency of your opponent's action economy because you just gotta like it's durable enough that you gotta think really hard about it. And in a pinch, it can just throw out multi shots. Nothing to hate there. And sometimes 60 points is what you can afford to put in your list. So yeah, and then the Outriders, I want to comment on those. Outriders are really big because I think Toby is really campaigning to make them a staple because they let you get the attached character, i.e. the Raven Command Squad or Samael, usually Samael, to 3 damage, right? And having a 3 damage strength 7 weapon with Samael on the charge is really important. So, and they'll be able to charge in and pick up a bunch of, do a pretty good job of picking up Marines format bodies on the charge. And Samael,
definitely.
Has strength 7, so he's going to wound most Terminators on 4s or better. The only problem there is damage 3 means that you're not picking up, you're not killing Death Shrouds efficiently. Death Shrouds are 4 wounds, so oh well. But there's also there's a way to get around that too. But 1 unit of Outriders with Samael is showing up in a lot of lists. It's under 200 points and it's pretty efficient. So good on that.
It's good, right? And it makes it an easy trade piece because that way, if someone does go out of their way to kill it, it's not a huge chunk of your army that's now gone.
Yeah. It's, as I said, it's 200 points. It's under 10% of the list, and it can do a lot for that. Now, it's like, don't think it's going to go pick up a tank because it's not going to, unless you roll hot on the wounds. But it'll like skirmish and move, block, and stop things up. So.
Yep. All right. Red Wing Command Squads, they weren't everywhere, but in that one list with the 3 ballistas, there were 3 Red Wing Command Squads.
So it's a company of hunters list, right? So you're going to see them, obviously.
So that was fun to see there. And then Stern Guard seemed to show up intermittently, and a couple times people were running 2 5-mans. So Stern Guard are starting to get popular, so it was a good idea that I finally got some worked on.
I do think the Stern Guard are really, like, Stern Guard as a piece of tech are really turning into a centerpiece of this, and I like it because it's 100 points, and they have a surprising shooting output. They have a surprising melee output, and with Oath of the Moment redirects I don't remember the name of the stratagem, but in Wrath of the Rock, you can shoot something, kill it, switch the Oath, and then get more efficacy out of that unit, right? And so they take units, pardon me, they take units that have devastating wounds and just make them just punch super high, right? Yeah. You roll a little, right around average, and you'll generate several mortal wounds in the shooting with them, with Azrael attached, right? Somewhere between like 6 and 10. I don't remember the math off the top of my head. And then when you charge in, once again, Azrael is going to be doing mortals with his sword, so off you go. Okay? And then with the ancient weapons captain that you give a power fist to, and so now he's got a strength 10, AP3, 3 damage power fist, and you can go Finest Hour and get 8 attacks with it, and has devastating wounds. Him being in Stern Guard and being able to reroll wounds is very, very nice. And once again, that is a sub 200 point, just killy AF trade piece.
I like that. Well, and then the other thing I'd like to point out too, from like a hobbyist standpoint, Heath, you could probably vouch for this for as long as you've played Dark Angels, is that Stern Guard haven't been in the Dark Angels Codex as a playable unit for decades. Yeah. So it's cool that they got Primaris and we can finally play them, and they didn't just bring them in as Stern Guard, they bumped them up to Deathwing. Like they didn't just port them straight over. Veterans. They bumped them. Yeah. So that's really cool that we're finally getting to play with them.
At the expense of the lore that the first company only takes the field in Terminator armor. But honestly, I'm here for it. Whatever, it's fine. So we have more Terminators than anybody else, but sometimes the mission set does not require Terminators.
Well, and it's nice. It's nice that they all come with robes, right? So it's just more reasons to get the robes out and do all the craziness with that. And then I guess sort of the last piece, kind of looking at this, there were no Vanguard vets, and now there are Vanguard vets starting to pop up.
Yeah.
I have a box back here.
I need to, I'm not going to buy them. I'm just going to probably try and convert some. I've got a bunch of old metal robe Dark Angels with jump packs.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna put some combat shields on them, so I have some storm shields laying around. I'm probably just
Yeah, I
gonna
know
put some up.
exactly which ones you're talking
But
about. I have some of those too.
95 points for 5 bros with a 4-up invul save and -1 to wound, and they can just do stuff. I don't know. It's good. It's a really nice little skirmish trade action piece. They're not going to do a lot of damage because they're only damage 1, but hey, it's fine. Okay, so let's say we just kind of briefly run. There's a couple of lists that did well that are non-wrath, and then I will spend a lot of time talking about wrath. Right. So there's a company of hunters list that did super well at a 5-round event in Tomaleso, Spain. 3 squads of 6 outriders, 3 chappies, 2 hammer strikes, big squad of black knights, devastators. So yeah, 3 centurion devastators, infiltrators, and 2 vindicators. Like, again, if you know how to play that list, it can do a lot of work, but it's a high skill floor, right? So we do have the return of a gladius list, right? And this is the one that had the triple intercessors. So he had a Gravis captain, 3 squads of 5 intercessors, 3 aggressors with flamers, 3 blade guard vets, 1 squad of 3 blade guard vets, 2 5-man Deathwing knights with maces, 1 5-man Deathwing Terminator squad, 10 Hellblasters, 2 squads of 5 scouts, a ballistus, and a gladiator. And this went 4-1, took 68th place at the Bristol Super Major, which is a 429 player event.
Yeah, that's
which
impressive.
is huge. Yeah, and this is Gladius, right? So the captain had Honor Vehement, which is, once again, it's a fairly standard Gladius list. I don't see, like, the Hellblasters don't usually show up in those, and the Deathwing Terminators definitely don't.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
I think the Deathwing Terminators,
them just...
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, like, Deathwing Terminators are cheaper. They're only like 180 points, and they get plus to hit into your oath target. There's a couple little sneaky things that you can use them as a deep strike threat, slash a scorched earth type thing. I'd be curious to see more about how he's running it. But the Gladius tech is pretty well understood at this point.
Well, and it's interesting that he ran that with all the stuff with Wrath. I think these 2 lists came out before Wrath dropped, though, so there wasn't an option.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, but there's some stuff in there that's like if you just port it over to Wrath, like we want to see what regular Terminators do in a Wrath list. We want to see what some of these other things will do with that. So
there's still
3 intercessor
wounds,
squads,
but yeah. Okay. Here's an interesting company of hunters unit, or company hunters list. So he had 3 squads of 3 outriders, triple ballistas, triple centurion devastators. So 2 ATVs, 5 scouts, 2 hammer strikes to strip to cover, and 3 command squads. 1 with master maneuver, 1 with mastercrafted weapon, and 1 with recon hunter. The only reason you take mastercrafted weapon is because you have like 10 extra points because it gives you precision, and who cares? But, or maybe I'm not understanding about that. But he placed 4th at a 126 player event.
Yeah,
right? In Utah. So good on you, man. Right? It was James Walsh.
Yep, that's James.
Yeah. Cool.
Yep.
All right, so now let's talk about some Wrath tech, right? There's one more company of hunters list. That's Yofon's Blow. And it's got 3 Raven Command squads, 4 Outrider squads, 3 Gladiator Lancers, 3 ATV Melta Buggies, 3 squads of 6 Black Knights. Love it. And 5 Infiltrators. And this is the one he has like a 3 stanza poem as his list name. Respect.
And it's so good. It's so good.
Okay. All right, so let's talk about some Wrath tech. What do we got here?
We got Toby here.
All right, Toby. So as always, he's naming it after the Dilf, right? So, and this is where I think we're going to start seeing some what we've been talking about, right? So you got the 3 squads of 5 Deathwing Knights, right? The Ballistus Dreadnought, 5 Intercessors to hold your back line, Samael, the Lieutenant with Combi Weapon, a Captain with Ancient Weapons, and Azrael. Right, so that's 4 characters. And then we're going to get a 5th character in the Calidus Assassin. right? And then he's got 5 incursors, 3 outriders, 5 scouts, 2 squads of 5 Sternguard vets, and a squad of Vanguard vets, right? And he went ninth place at the Glasshammer Major, and I heard him talk about this list in on Black Crow, the Lion's Den, and he said that he didn't like the incursors, and he basically traded the incursors for an impulsor in a later list, right? And he was much happier with that.
Yep.
So I don't know if we can find that one real quick.
It's right. It's just down.
Yep, there we go. It's called
way.
the Last Dilf Standing. Right. And a lot of it is very similar, right? Azrael, the Ancient Weapons Captain, Lieutenant with Combat Weapons, Samael, 5 Intercessors. Now, then we have the Impulsor, right? And then the rest of the list is really similar, right? The 3 squads of 5 Deathwing Knights, the Ballistas, 5 Scouts, 2 Stern Guards, the 5 Vanguard Vets, and the Calidus. So the difference here is that the Impulsor gives you a ride for the Captain and his Stern Guard, because they don't have an Invul save, and they can move up. And then it also basically gives you a 3-inch springboard to get them out.
Oh, yeah.
So, which I'm a fan of. And then it can, late game, it can drive around and do secondaries or tank shock stuff. All right, and that's
well,
good.
And then
Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say with the Impulsor too, right? You can shoot out the back of it if you really had to, or you can move, still get out and shoot. You don't charge, but if you really had to move, get out, move, do your move, and then shoot something, you can. That's an option. Like your threat range is like crazy.
You can advance it and then jump the guys out, right? In that case, unless you're trying to get onto an objective. Right, maybe I guess you roll the advance, see it, and then you can jump out 3 inches and tow an objective. So yeah, you can shoot out the back of it with Stern Guard. Doesn't suck because they have devastating wounds, but you got to remember that they're not going to be re-rolling the wounds because that's a Stern Guard data sheet rule. And when you shoot out of a transport vehicle, the weapons count as being equipped by the vehicle, so they don't benefit from their own data sheet. But you could do something like put a Tech Marine in there and give it +1 to hit.
Yep.
All right. So anyway, so he was a big fan of the Impulsor. It just gives him extra little bit of mobility and durability. And he has a really good about 40-minute breakdown of his experience at the Leeds Super Major, where he tied for 12th, went 4-1, and barely missed the playoffs or the shadow round. So good on you, man. Like I said, and he's kind of been a thought leader in this. He does not think highly of the Lion, and I don't know. Like his argument is that he's 315 points, and he's too many. He basically ends up concentrating too much of your list in one place, and gives your opponent, it's too easy to play around it. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I could always see that because he's not just his 300 points. He's 300 points, and then the 60 some odd point combi weapon lieutenant that's got a
or a 250 point Deathwing Knight squad that's standing next to him. Right. Yeah. So I can see it. Right. And again, he plays at a different level than I do. Right. The level I'm playing at, right, the Lion presents a very significant problem. Right. But towards the top end of the game, right, maybe I think he's got a point. Right, so
where everything. Well, that's where having we were talking about before those sub 200 point power units, like having the Stern Guard with the Captain, where for a third less of the line, you have a unit that punches way above its waist. It can do all these different things. You can put it in tanks. You can take it out of tanks. It does all this, hides behind walls, runs through wall. I mean, the Lion does that now, but there's all these things that you can do with that squad that you can't do with the Lion, and it's cheaper. So I could see that. I mean, but I'm with you in the fact that the Lion's cool. We waited so long to get a Primarch, we just can't leave him on the bench. I mean, he got a buff. It's not insane.
He did a lot for me. I don't know. Yeah, but I'm trying some lists without it just to see what happens. But
that's fair.
I like a lot of what he brings to the table. Anyway, so all right, and then. A lot of these Wrath lists do seem to be coalescing around the triple Deathwing Knight, and I will definitely tell you that when I went from 2 Deathwing Knights and then shoot 3 Deathwing Knight squads. And I was going back and forth on it leading up to this event I played at last weekend. And I was like, well, I could have the 3rd Deathwing Knight squad, or I could have a chaplain with Deathwing Assault and like 2 support units, like a unit of scouts and a unit of, I don't know, something else. I can't remember what it was. I think it was JPIs, right? And then as soon as I put that 3rd Deathwing Knight squad in, I was like, oh my God, this is the way. It is just, holy crap. It was so different, right? It's hard to quantify, but like, it's easy for people to play, or to like, you can account for 2 super punchy units, but that 3rd unit of knights with the lion, like, I was able to keep one of them in reserve just as a counter the whole time. Right. It was great. So I completely agree that the 3rd unit of Deathwing Knights is effectively required. So anyway,
even through that big price increase where they tried to stop us from running 3, it still holds good at $250.
The price increase is warranted for the level of utility that they bring, especially in Wrath, where they're just rock solid.
Gotcha.
See what I did there?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Would you care to move on to a debrief on my tournament experience?
Yep, let's go to that. So the one thing I just kind of wanted to just shout out everybody real quick.
Yeah, do it.
So we got Namiro, Michael, Josh, Ines. Oh, we forgot about Ines Wilson. How could we do that? Adrian, James, Corey, Joe Fons, John, Toby, Brody, Jindrich, Jamie, Toby again, Duncan, and then who's this guy here? Oh, that would be Heath.
Okay, so
I like the name.
Yeah, so this was the Throne of War, right? Which is an event that we do every year or two at the Armchair Adventurer, which is a game store in the Dole Cannery in Honolulu, Hawaii. The Dole Cannery is, I guess you can call it a mall, but it's an old pineapple factory that they used to do pineapple packing at. So they got a lot of really cool artifacts there. So the store is in the mall, like kind of on the little food court, and the food court's only got like 3 shops on it now, but they take over the whole thing, right? And so anyway, there's a really good coffee place in there too. Like, guy's got a high end coffee roaster that he does everything local. So, all right. So anyway, round 1, I played into the Tau experimental prototype cadre. This opponent,
look at that parking lot.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So the opponent was Reed Bell, right? Reed is once again a kind of a local staple, very, very talented player. I think Bailey, you played him at
I did.
At War on the Shore.
War on the Shore, and you could too if you sign up for War on the Shore too. You could also play Reed Bell.
Yeah, he straight did that. He straight dumpstered me at War on the Shore with a auxiliary cadre. So I was like, oh man, we're not starting this one early. So anyway, experimental prototype cadre is really more kind of intended around the like battle suits, right? Its big rule is everything gets plus 6 inches of range, right? It has a couple strategies, cool. But he has basically no battle suits. He had stealth suits, right? But he had, I think, 4 devilfish. Right, count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, 4 devilfish, each That's one cool. with a breacher team in it. Right, generally with and most of them they had like 3 cadre fireblades. Right, and just like so. Basically, it is Fish of Fury. Right, the old school Fish of Fury.
Yep.
And he had a Pathfinder team and another cadre fireblade. Oh yeah, no, I think he had 5 devilfish because he had these 4 on the table, and then he had 1 in reserve.
Wow. That's
with the breacher, another breacher team. So the idea here is that they can all just move, jump out, and rain you down with strength 6, AP 1 and 2 shooting that ignores cover because it's all going to be marker lighted. So Anyway, so the mission was, as I roll back through this, was linchpin.
Okay.
So that means I have to hold my home objective, and you get more points for holding your home plus the midboard, right? So in this one, I went first, right? And this was layout. I think it was layout 1. I don't have that on my notes here, but I could go back through and figure it out. Right, but I'm reasonably sure it was layout 1, right? Because it's got the big L, right, and then the 2 L's in the middle, and then the little side piece here. So my thought was, I'm going to deploy everything kind of cagely. I'm not going to get shot on turn 1, and then I'm going to advance to the midboard and stage on my L. And then this objective up here, number 4, as you can see, that's my expansion objective. So I've got Deathwing Knights here, Deathwing Knights here. I've got more Deathwing Knights basically in this ruin right here where my little laser pointer is. That's also where Azrael and his Sternguard are. And then the Lion is right here. And then my Combi Lieutenant is over here in the bottom right corner at 3. So
Heath, when you look at this, because when I see maps like this, I always look at it and go, all right, I need to figure out where I can build like my power triangle and then press. And it looks like you've done that. Like you're setting yourself up, because you talked about the one up at the top being your expansion objective, that you're looking at this, you're like, all right, I can't kill them all at once. I got to kill them in pieces. So I'm going to try and take part of the board, make it mine, and then just press and try and deny him from doing basically the same thing to me on the other side. And it looks like you've done a pretty good job of that with the Combi Lieutenant down here to kind of be like, you have to come over here and stop me from taking this one. And you've got enough speed that you can quickly shift. And I think that's like the big thing with having all these bikes, right? Is that you could build it with the intent of, I'm going to go stand on this one. But if they kind of bump you, you can shift to the other one if something crazy happens.
Yeah.
Is that kind of what you're looking about?
Yeah. So the philosophy behind this list is I'm going to try to. So I set up so that if I draw midboard secondary or secondaries that require you to interact with objectives early, I can step out and do that quickly, right? So I will be able to get one here with the lieutenant, get one with the Lion, right, or on turn 2. Right. But basically, I'm going to develop my position, and then the idea is that I will tap the Lion into something. He's screened by infantry that's out of line of sight, so you have to shoot him or charge him to change the game state, right? Because otherwise, I'm just going to sit there and I'm going to out primary you, and best of luck with that. Right now, obviously, this list is really good at killing things with short range firepower. That's the whole idea. But this worked out in my favor. So let's see. Just probably a good time to actually go over my list real quick. So what I had here and what I ended up settling on, the name of the list is May the Emperor Forgive You, because the Rock will not. So I've got the Lion, I've got Azrael with his Sternguard, a Combi Weapon Lieutenant, Samael with a unit of 3 Outriders, a Ravenwing Command Squad with Ancient Weapons, and they are, in this case, are with Black Knights. I've got 3 squads of Deathwing Knights, and 5 Intercessors and the Ballistas, and that is it. So you don't see the Ballistas in this picture because it's off to the left here. The intent was the Ballistas was going to move out and basically up to the upper left-hand corner of the board, and he was what was going to control that objective 4. Right. So once again, not a lot of scoring units here. The intent was that the bikes / the ballistas / the Combi Lieutenant were going to be the scoring units, right? Or the action units. So, and the other tech I built into this, because I spent some time thinking about how to play the Death Guard matchup, was that I can, based on the needs of the mission, I can swap Samael and the Ravenwing Command Squad from the Black Knights to the Outriders. So if I put the Ravenwing Command Squad with the Ancient in the Outriders, then they have 4 damage on the charge, or 3 damage into any sort of damage reduction effect, because the plus to damage from the Outriders and the plus to damage from the Ancient Weapon Relic are calculated after a damage reduction or damage halving effect. So even it's like the what's his name? Even it's like a Catan, I'm still damage 3.
Yeah, that's good.
Right. So yeah, that was the intent. Right. In this case, I chose to put them with the Black Knights because I wanted all the anti-vehicle
good call.
So yeah. All right. So what I did here was, and I don't have a detailed blow by blow. This is the one I took kind of the most pictures of. But so I went first. and I drew Tempting Target and Secure No Man's Land, which was a
Oh, there you go.
fantastic draw,
Yeah.
right? So I scored both of those, right? And then Reed got a pretty bad draw off first. He got Overwhelming Force and Cleanse, which was kind of crap.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is like round 3-ish, I think, round 2 or 3. I think it's round 3. So you can see I've moved to the middle of the board, right? And the lion had staged in this middle behind the knights, or like in front of the knights. And then on round 3, I pushed the lion forward. And one of the things I did here was that you see how the bikes are tucked up right here?
Yep.
I kept the bikes here basically the whole game, right? I did not bring the bikes out until they had a thing to do. And I would like roll an advanced dice, see what they got, and if it was sufficient for them to be able to do something, I'd move them out. If not, oh well, they just sat there. So what he did is on like I put the lion in the middle, and then he had brought I think it was this hammerhead or one of the hammerheads out into the middle, right, and then had another one kind of behind it, and it was a devilfish out in there, and then he jumped a bunch of guys out behind it. So my go turn, I ran the bikes out into the middle of the board. He had some Kroot kind of in the middle. I shot and killed the Kroot, and then was set up so that I could charge the vehicle that was staged over here in his corner. So I charged the vehicle. I also charged the lion into the vehicle, and then the lion activated first, cut the devilfish in half, and then that way, when the Outriders went to activate, they piled in to the next nearest unit, which was the Outrider or the Breachers behind them, and they got stuck in combat with them. They didn't do a huge amount of damage, but they did enough, right? And they were in the Lion's reroll ones to hit and wound aura, so they picked up all but like 1 or 2 of them, right? And so I ended up, because he didn't focus on the lion, right? He, like the lion and those Black Knights, just charged right into the middle of the board, cut all this up, and then ended up, I lost the Black Knights, which was not here, but then the lion went through the wall, charged, killed this thing, and ended up on his home objective, just doing business. He died, but on turn 4, on after capturing the enemy's home objective and denying him a linchpin, I'll take it.
Yeah, and that happens a lot when you run this strategy, where like sometimes you get lucky, and like how he split his army in half basically, and he's got a weak center, and you can do what you did and drive right through the middle. And that's because, like I said, if you can get into their opponent's home backfield, sometimes they forget about it. They're so focused on getting out and pushing you on the flanks that you can do what you did, which is impressive.
Yeah, so the way the rest of this worked, right, I had my Outriders and Samael. They had kind of charged out down here on the right, on my right flank, and because I had scored Tempting Target, I think, on 3 over here, he killed my Combi Lieutenant. Okay, cool. And he spent a bunch of time shooting into Samael, and he actually brought his reserves in over here after I had pulled Azrael and the Stern Guard out, and he did not apply his reserves to killing this unit, my Azrael and the Stern Guard, which I thought was a mistake. So it ended up with Azrael and the Stern Guard. Right? Oh, and I had a unit of Deathwing Knights over here too. So he ended up spending a bunch of stuff killing through this 5-man unit of Deathwing Knights and Samael and his Outriders, while Azrael moved up, shot, blew up, killed, and Azrael ended up over here on this objective, and he spent some time whittling that down. Right? And then he moved up a bunch of stuff on his right, so my left got some stealth suits up to the point where the end of their barrel could see past the thing and to see the Deathwing Knights. I was very cross about that, because I guess I didn't realize that it didn't have to be the base that could see; it just had to be, quote, the model. I was, we had a difference of understanding, but he was correct. I was pretty mad about it. So
yeah, that's one of those, like,
I know
one of those core rule things that are just back in the day. It wasn't that way.
I don't like. I wish it was the base, because like the base should interact with the game in a predictable way. Because otherwise, like, who's to say that you don't make your weapon like half an inch longer to look cool, and now it's modeled for advantage. Anyway, he did not do that. I'm not accusing him of that or anything, but
No.
you know, he played it correctly. He's a, you know, at this point he was kind of grasping for straws, right? But he got up there, he saw, and so this Devilfish Breacher team had jumped onto this objective and shot into these knights and killed them down to like 2 guys, right?
Yeah.
So then I auto passed, right, to hold that center objective. And then these knights right here, which were still here and were basically just in reserve the whole game, they advanced and charged onto that home objective and just flattened all those guys, wrapped up the Devilfish, right? And then the ballistas here, it just stood on that objective and did sabotage and the whole time. I didn't even need to shoot its guns, to be completely honest.
Wow, that's impressive.
So game ended. I got extend battle lines and no prisoners on battle round 2, which was great. I got bring it down, cull the horde. I ditched on round 3. I ditched cull the horde, got overwhelming force, so I scored 4 and 5 on that. I'll just bring up, and this is basically what, like, kind of the swords, like, I think it's like the end of round 4, so ignore the round 3.
Yeah, I didn't keep
alive. Let Lions on his home objective, and he got shot to death by this Pathfinder team. So, but the Deathwing Knights here, he fell the thing back, and it went well for me. So
yeah, no,
and I brought I had stickied the objective on my home objective, and I moved the intercessors up, and I think I eventually ended up running out of resources over on the right, and he tried to move up to the home objective, but by that point he was too far behind. Right, so this was the result of the game: 73-60, my favor. So my secondary draws on rounds 1, 2, and 3 were pretty fantastic. I got Locust and Cleanse on battle round 4, and I scored Area Denial on battle round 5. And yeah, he had a couple of rough secondary draws, and he just couldn't really push it out. But he got Defense Stronghold and Display of Might on battle round 4. But I just out primaried him so hard that it didn't really matter. So anyway, I'm like Deathwing Knights. I'm loving them. I'm really into this. Yeah, I
from January.
I redeemed myself into the Tau. So I draw game 2, which was Chaos Knight, Lords of Dread. And this is also a guy I played on battle in round 2 at War on the Shore. It was Ben. Except in War on the Shore, he had the 13 baby Chaos Knights. Now he had 5 big Chaos Knights. And I told him what my army did, and he looked at me and says, I am going to lose this game. This is a terrible matchup. And he was correct. It was a terrible matchup for him.
Oh, no.
So he had 5 big knights. I'm sorry if I don't remember the exact names of them, but he had a Melta Swordy big knight, 3 Lancers, which are the ones that free tank shock on the charge, or the free tank shock and have a storm shield with a giant, like, 8 damage lance. And then a double Gatling Knight that was kind of just sat on his home objective and and just shot stuff.
I know that one.
Yeah. So what I did was, I'm like, okay, look, here's the deal. You're going to have to come to me. Oh, he had 2 Beasts of Nurgle, which are the things that if you don't kill them, they fully regenerate at the end of every phase.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, annoying. But, okay. So I, deployed to my little castle. Right, and I just moved up. I declared, I think, this objective. This is Hidden Supplies. I think was because it's got the 2 center objectives, and we're playing basically long edge to long edge. Sorry, short edge to short edge. It's not exactly hammer and anvil. It's like one of the modified hammer and anvils. But I just moved up. I had 5 Deathwing Knights. The Lion, 5 Deathwing Knights, in just a shield wall. And he looked at it and says, I don't know what to do about this. So he, and I have my Ballistas and Samael over here on my left. So there's a shooting lane basically like across here. Right? And across here. So,
where's
he had Nurglings. Go ahead.
Is Sammy with Outriders still, or did you? Or
he's still with the Outriders because I kept the Black Knights for this because I wanted the anti-vehicle dev wounds for the Lancers for and null saves. So once again, the Knights all staged right here in the middle. or the Black Knights. And he did have an uppy downy on this Meltonite, which is spicy. So, oh well. So I stickied my home objective. Once again, moved the shield wall out. One of his Lancers moved, that was deployed, like this red one is his Warlord. So one of them moved around this way, touched the home objective, did a stratagem where he stickied it with 5 OC, and then he charged the Deathwing Knights. And then the way he charged and had a position, he was within 6 inches of the lion. So the lion heroically intervened, fought first and like halfway killed it. And then he put everything in the lion and bounced off the 3-up and bull save.
Man.
And I had the lion in the mortal wounds aura to protect against the charge from the Lancers, which is what I decided was the right choice in this case.
No, that's definitely a good call.
So
because lion has the Wrath of the Rock rule just inherently, right? And did that that played well into that?
Yeah, well, because those Lancers are like strength 20 or something on the charge, right? So he would have been winning on 2s, but he wounded on 3s instead.
Yeah, and that matters,
I think. So yeah. And they have Lance. So they have Lance. So yeah, no, he just rolled a bunch of, but he just bounced off. He just bounced off. So I think he killed like 1 Deathwing Knight with mortal wounds. So anyway, the next activation, the Knights piled in and just the next turn killed the Lancer. And he's like, oh no. His other Lancer came up this way. I had a unit of Deathwing, my 3rd unit of Deathwing Knights over here. Just advanced out. They made a shield wall in front of my Ballistas. They took the Ballistas had shot into these Nurglings. They took the charge from the Lancer, tanked it. And then that was the point where I had moved my Deathwing Knight or my Ravenwing Knights up to the middle. He shot with the Gatling Knight.
Yeah.
Killed I think 2 of them. And then so I rezzed one of them right here, right? And then they just advanced and charged, zoom over here, and then I uppy downied the lion and dropped him over here. These guys charged in over here. The Black Knights went over here to charge into the Lancer. These Deathwing Knights went in, he did not correctly position his Nurglings. I Leonine aggression into the Nurglings, killed them, took this objective from him. And the next turn, it scored this primary, advanced over here, and then set up to charge over here as well. So I just boxed him out hard. These Black Knights charged into the Lancer, did 8 or 9 wounds. 6 of them were mortals from the anti-vehicle. He rolled kind of well on his saves against the ancient weapon. He killed one of them in return because he was also fighting into the Deathwing Knights. And then next turn, he brought his Warlord over to here. I fell the Ravenwing Knights back, shot over to here in the midboard after rezzing one of the Knights. Azrael and his guys moved up to here, oathed it, did a whole crap ton of mortal wounds. They charged, killed it. He uppy downied this Melton Knight into my backfield. Then these guys rezzed, charged back here. Azrael stepped through the wall. It was just an absolute bloodbath. It was crazy. Anyway, it was 86-44. Yeah. It went down pretty hard. So I nearly blanked him on primary. He scored no more than 5 primary every turn, where I was basically maxed it. Ben's a really fantastic opponent. He was pointing out some things, and anyway, it did well. So
did you feel with the fact with all those bonuses that the Lancers have on the charge that you just have that decision of I just have to charge them first, because that's sometimes
I need to lock them up. I just need to lock them up.
Yeah,
because I can block them up. I can stop the Deathwing. The Deathwing Knights can stop them once with the mortal wounds by popping the Watcher, but unless the lion is nearby, it's not going to work, right? So that was good. All right, game 3. I got rocked. So this was into Mortarian's Hammer on Linchpin. Sorry I didn't take any pictures. At least I don't have them, I don't think.
All good.
This was Rob Moreau, who is
Ah,
yeah
traitor.
you know Rob Moreau. He played he scored best Dark Angel at LVO earlier this year.
He was on the podcast earlier
Yeah, he
this
was on the
year.
show. He talked about Librarius Conclave. So he's been playing Morty's Hammer or Death Guard because it's cure cancer, cure cancer. This so he has triple Plague Burst Crawler, 2x3 Death Shrouds. I have the actual thing up here. So yeah, he had a Lord of Virulence, a Chaos Predator with las cannons and an autocannon. Yeah, the 2x3 Death Shrouds, 2 Fetid Bloat Drones with Plague Spitters, right? 3 Fetid Bloat Drones with the Heavy Blight Launchers, which are Strength 10, AP 3 damage, which are designed to kill Deathwing Knights. 3 Malefic Blight Haulers, or Mephetic Blight Haulers with Multi-Meltas and Missile Launchers. 3 Plague Burst Crawlers with the Mortars. 2 squads of 10 Poxwalkers. This list is unreal.
Yeah, that's a lot of
So
smoke.
it's crazy. I did not realize that Death Shroud can charge after the 6-inch Deep Strike. I knew that they had so they can only 6-inch Deep Strike against things that are afflicted. But what Morty's Hammer does is Morty's Hammer can hand out affliction tokens for free. So he just afflicted my Intercessors and Azrael in my backfield on turn 2, dropped 6 inches away from both of them, flamered, killed 1 or 2 of them, and then charged. And they're like Strength 10, AP 3, 2 or 3 damage, Lance. So even through Wrath, they're wounding me on 2s. Because when they're in combat, they are afflicting me, so I'm -1 toughness. I thought that Lance or that Wrath was going to protect me from a lot of their stuff. It does not.
That's interesting. Yeah, because I remember you were talking about that last month.
Yeah.
You were like, "Yeah, this is going to be great."
I think it was not. It was
says.
Now there might be. I mean, I'm not saying it's unbeatable. I'm saying it's going to take some more thought, right? But those blight drones, those bloat drones, are custom designed to kill Deathwing Knights. And they're so cheap. They're so cheap. You just can't trade into them favorably. And
is this where maybe some Hell Blasters might help, do you think?
I don't know. I don't think so, because those Plague Burst Crawlers are like going to... So they do like mortal wound splash damage. So like they hit you, and if they hit you, then every unit within 3 inches of the unit that was hit takes D3 mortal wounds on a 5+. So having to be castled up in my backfield, it did like 10 or 12 mortal wounds on turn 1, and he had turn 1, so I was unable to get the Lion's mortal wound aura up. So it was I was like, I have to go hard. I have to go right now. So I threw the bikes out, or the Black Knights out, knowing that they weren't going to trade efficiently because I didn't have the right positioning for it. But if I waited any longer, I was going to lose them and get nothing out of it.
Yep.
So, so I more effort is required to learn how to play into this matchup. Anyway, it was worse than this. I think it was actually a 98. I just stopped keeping records after a point. We're like, look, here's the deal. What went on the thing? It was like 44-98 or something.
Well, and it's game 3, right? Of day 1.
I was a little
you're smoked. Your brain's smoked.
I was a little brain cooked. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. You can't hold it against yourself. Okay.
Anyway, all right. So next day, right? I get Death Guard again. Virulent Vectorum. All right, which is different. It does not. They don't hand out affliction tokens. Their thing is they all have sticky objectives. They just sticky everything, and they have a couple of really interesting stratagems. Cool. Like they have a 1 CP stratagem that lets one unit reroll all hits and wounds against another unit. So
that's nice.
Yeah. Anyway, so this is layout I think 7, right? And it was Hammer and Anvil. So my deployment's on the right, his is on the left. I staged bikes and the Lion and Deathwing Knights basically right here, but my Combi Lieutenant is right here. Right? Let me slide over real quick, close.
Recognize that mat, though. That's that nice table war mat.
It's a table war mat, yeah. So Pierce went first, my opponent. Pierce is also really good. He's another very, very experienced player. And so I went first. I put my right out here, with my combi lieutenant, I declare the middle objective as the one I get to reroll ones to wound against, and yeah. So he kind of just moved up, developed his position a little bit. He staged in this middle. I moved up. I put knights behind this wall right here. I put the lion out front, touching the objective, and I moved another unit of knights basically up to here in this little corner right here. And then once again, it's like I've got two objectives. If he and I moved Samael, he advanced all the way up here, shot and charged and killed some poxwalkers that were on this objective. So I have Samael kind of on the front of this objective, the combi lieutenant on the back, the lion right here, and I've got knights staged here, and also up here. So he said, okay, well, I've got to go for the lion, and he moved up and he did his go turn, right? So he moved a rhino full of plague marines, right? The stink bus, put it in the middle. His demon prince came behind it. A mephitic Blightholler came here. He jumped everything out. He popped everything off, and he shot, and he got the lion down to 1 wound left.
Oh, man.
And then he's like, okay, I mean, I can't charge him, right? Okay, so I leonine aggression with these Deathwing Knights into the rhino, killed it. It exploded.
Yeah,
and killed the lion, and it killed the lion.
No, we don't want that.
So I was like, dang it! All right. So anyway, those guys, it's like, okay, it is what it is, right? So anyway, the next turn. So that was the beginning of Battle Round 2. On my turn, so the bottom of 2, I just basically did my go turn. The Deathwing Knights that had just killed that, they ran around and they charged into his Demon Prince that was right here, right? The Deathwing Knights that were here ran up, staged. These ran up, charged, killed and killed. I think it was a Blightholler that was right here, and the Black Knights came through the wall, got up here, overcharged plasma, and then just dumped everything into the Plague Marine squad. The Plague Marines had they have a -1 damage stratagem, and so we popped that. It's 2 CP, so it probably wasn't, but I still ended up doing a lot of damage. Anyway, so I wiped the Plague Marines. I left like 2 characters, and I charged. I just basically cleared out this mid board, killed the Demon Prince with the Deathwing Knights. He dropped the Death Shrouds right here, shot into and didn't kill the bikes. He failed 3 6-inch deep strikes charges with rerolls.
Oh,
yeah, like he dropped in, rolled a 6, failed it, rerolled it, failed it, dropped it over here, tried to roll a 6, failed it, and he's like, I don't know what to do. Like, sorry, man, that sucks, but here we go. You'll notice that I left 6-inch deep strike screening all back here, so I forced him to put that stuff up in the mid. Yeah, worked out pretty well. So anyway, so I at this point, he's got a Poxwalkers right here. I've got to charge around the corner. This is round 3, and I'm just closing the gauntlet. Right? He drops Typhus in the middle here. He's got this 2 bloat drones left, and it's just the Dark Angels just walking over the field. Right? He had Typhus, and he had one of those big, very like a big stinky Terminator captain that dropped in with one of the Death Guard or the Death Shroud units. You kill them and they get up on 2s, like a Lord of Virulence, I think.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So he managed to kill Sam. So Sam lost his Outriders. Sam and the Ravenwing Champion, which is the only thing left from this unit, they both fell back, rolled over here, charged Typhus, left him on 1 wound because I didn't throw grenades, and I was very upset with myself. I couldn't throw grenades with the so he didn't have the grenade keyword, and he fell back, so it wouldn't have been possible. But yeah. Anyway, so I guess that's fine. Anyway, so this was he basically the thing was here. I lured him into shooting his go turn early, and just was set up so that I could leonine aggression, get the extra movement, and everything just collapsed in on him. Right, so 89 to 67, my favor.
Yep, that's good.
So
and look at all the, like, you only missed 1 secondary.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Yeah, which was Locust, right? So anyway, Yeah, like Azrael's unit ended up moving out basically here to the midboard, like turn 4, turn 5, and shooting and doing some stuff. But yeah, anyways, it was a comfortable win. After I broke his back on at the bottom of 2, top of 2, top of 3, bottom of 3, it was pretty much decided. So he was drawing challenger cards and didn't like, he scored. He had 3 challenger cards and he wasn't able to capitalize on any of them. So, all right. So at this point, I'm 3-1. I'm really happy because my goal was win my first 2 games. So basically get into a winner's bracket because I always win one, get into a winner's bracket and lose the next one and then submarine the rest of the way. So I was like, man, I won my first 2 games and then I'm overall, I've won 3 games overall. I'm super happy. So I went into game 5, which was Lions the Emperor. This was Kai Wan. He was undefeated at this point. He was 4-0 because he played against the Morty's Hammer List battle round for game 4 and beat it barely. So this is basically top table for round 5. It was a rough list. He had triple Caladius. So I can actually pull it up here. Triple Caladius, 2 Warden units. 2 4-man Warden units. 5-man Warden units with a 2 Blade Champs, which are the ones that give them advance and charge, right? And have a 3 damage weapon called a Volt Sword, which is crazy, right? He had a unit of Custodian Guard that was led by Kira Draxus, the Inquisitor, right? He had some sisters like Witch Seekers and Prosecutors. They had the 3 Venatari Custodians that could drop in, right? And he had a Calidus. I deployed on here on the left, right? And again, he went first. He moved one of the Caladiuses up to the middle, right? Kind of moved some stuff up to here. I moved the Lion and some Knights out here in the middle, charged, killed that stuff, and then he went into the Lion and managed to kill him because he shot him with the big like anti-tank turret weapon from the Caladius.
Yeah.
I was like, I rolled 3 wounds. I rolled 2 ones to save. So all right, roll one of the damages. He rolled the 2 plus 2 was like 4. And he re-rolled it into like an 8. Right, so I took 8 damage from the first hit. I have 2 wounds left, and then he just charged Lion with the tank shocked him, and that was it. So anyway, so I'm down the Lion, right? But I've got a unit of Knights here, and then the Wardens and the Blade Champ came in, charged the unit of Deathwing Knights that was here. I heroiced over this way, which denied him a charge from the other Custodian from the Custodian Guard unit. Right? I had a unit of Deathwing Knights come up here to try and stage his Wardens moved up. He shot my Deathwing Knights with Kira Draxus' Custodian Guard. They were touching the objective, so they got to reroll a whole bunch of stuff. And Kira Draxus has an anti-infantry 4+, dev wounds 2 damage. What is it? It's an Eldar. It's a shuriken catapult. Basically.
Shuriken pistol. Okay.
But so he rolls much dice and looks at me and goes 12 wounds. I'm like, 12 mortal wounds. I'm like, are you what? He's like, yeah, it's just 12 mortal wounds. I'm like, how? He's like, yeah, she does a thing. She rerolls wounds and she gets sustained because of this. And okay, sure. So I pop the Watcher and I fail 11 of them. But so it turns out, if you run into this, Kira Draxus' weapon is 2 damage, and therefore it would have been halved into the Deathwing Knights. So it should have been 6 mortal wounds. Oh well. So anyway, I basically lose 3 Deathwing Knights. I have 2 left. He charges them, kills them. So he's got Wardens here. He's got the Custodian Guard squad here. And I've got a unit of Deathwing Knights here, a unit of Deathwing Knights here. The Deathwing Knights finish off the Warden unit, finish off the Blade Champ. The Blade Champ stands back up, does a bit more damage. I whap him again. The Black Knights come through the middle, the Black Knights come through the middle to here. Azrael runs through here, oath this Warden unit that was here, shoot it, kill the whole unit, other than I think one, right? Then I pay 2 CP, switch my oath target to the center unit. The Black Knights charge it. I charge over here, and I shot. Yeah, so I switched the target, shot, did a bunch of damage, charged, basically picked up both of these units with one turn.
Nice.
Right?
That's not easy.
And then I've got, a big Black Knight squad spread out over these two objectives, taking away his primary, and I'm scoring primary. And then he's got the Caladius. This one over here, I could have killed a turn earlier. It had like 2 wounds left, but I forgot to charge with Samael. He dropped Venatari back here. I had moved the Ballistus over to here, or like up into the middle board. He dropped the Venatari, shot, failed to charge into the Ballistus. I shot with the Intercessors, killed 2 of them somehow. Hit charge, killed all the Intercessors, moved up, touched the objective. The Ballistus came back down here, shot, killed a Venatari. The Ballistus held this objective. The real winner of this game was like 2 Deathwing Knights that were left. Every turn, he's got a Caladius on there with 3 OC, and I'm just like, oh, no, I'm going to spend a CP to Lion's Will. I own this objective.
Nice.
So I denied him about 20 victory points by Lion's Will.
Wow, so it really does matter. It really has the right situation. Okay.
So 1, 2, 3. There's 3 different times I did that in various in 3 different turns, and I just robbed him of the ability to score primary because I had 2 Deathwing Knights. Just nope, I'm 4 OC. Nope, I'm 4 OC. So these guys right here, like Azrael and his Stern Guards, they came through the wall, shot, killed the Calidus, shot, killed the Prosecutors, didn't charge, right, to protect them from the shooting of this thing. This Calidus or Caladius shot, killed 1 or 2 of them, came up, charged them. They tanked it with the Watcher, right? And then they were standing here punching it, right, and oathing it and punching it for a couple turns before they finally killed it. But final 71-54.
Nice.
So
I can see where you blanked him that turn 4, and he's only got 5s. Man, that's crazy that he only
because he was down to, like I said, 2 damage tanks. So like the last turn, so I went second. He moved up, and I still had one. I still had my little lone up lieutenant here, standing here doing objectives. He charged it through the wall, did like 5 or 6 mortal wounds. And I rolled like 4 or 5 up, feel no pains, left it survived. Auto passed the morale, and then the Ballistus advanced, moved, advanced, shot, killed it. It didn't blow up, and so like the end of the game, this lone up lieutenant was holding this objective here, and then Azrael and his guys finally killed this one. And so nice. I got a 15 primary at the end of the game. And it was it. So I was absolutely chuffed. I was super happy. So I got to 4-1. And then it was like, cool, man, I can't believe I pulled that out. And then like, all right, well, it's going to be round 6. I'm like, why is there a round 6? There's only 15 of us. And I've already played the top 6. I'm number 3 and I've played the top 6. So I don't see the need to play another game. And plus, I told my wife I was going to come home and help her with some stuff, so I'm going to out. Deuces.
Yep, that's fair. That's fair.
I had life to take care of. I was like, I'm not gonna play the 10th place person to get another. Like, that's not worth it to me. So anyway,
that's fair.
Yeah. So cool event, good terrain, good everything. This was the last event that Amory Burgess hosted as a TO before he passed the reins as the TO. To read. Yeah, so that was his hurrah. Oh, okay. So good on you. Amory's been a staple of the local 40K community for about 15 years.
Yeah, for real.
Anyway, that is what's up. So that was my experience. So I said, I really like Wrath. I really like the triple Deathwing Knights. I'm seeing what I can do, to get without the Lion. If there's a way I can make that work. But we'll see. So anyway, I'm going to go play here in about 15 minutes. I'm going to go jump in the car.
Oh, yeah. So we're going to knock this out real quick. Yeah. So hobby challenge. I had to olive oil these guys up because they got frosted. But I did get 8 Stern Guard done. Nice. I do have to go back and do the plasma, but I have to wait for the olive oil to dry. So humidity. The humidity was bad in Indiana right now, so that's what killed me. What about your most excellent Roby boys? I painted 5 heavy intercessors, built and painted, because I wanted to run that like
10 heavy intercessor brick with wrath to see how it worked. Not well.
Oh.
Yeah, I had 10 heavy intercessors, but
Yeah, all
Rogue
right,
with
that
Horns had
counts.
3
That
damage
counts.
shooting. And then I finished my 3rd unit of Inner Circle Companions.
There we go.
And did I do anything else? Sorry, as I'm staring around wildly.
Yeah, no worries.
I don't
I mean,
think
I did a
so.
Dremel tool bit. I Dremeled and fixed some guys that needed pins, so I did that. So we get some extra stuff. I decided I'm gonna re-Dremel my Chaplain and Terminator armor to remagnetize him. So
cool.
All right. So going forward for next month, I looked at my box of things to paint. I got Scouts. I got Deathwing Knights. I still have my Spartan attack tank that I built that I want to use as a Land Raider with Godhammer. I don't know if I can paint it in a month, but it would definitely be a challenge if that's what you want me to do.
Look, you do whatever you feel you need to do. I will be on work travel for the bulk of the month.
Okay. So
I'll be
take it easy
off
this
island
month.
for about 3 weeks. I'll see what I can do. I'm planning on taking an army, and I'll see if I can get some games in, and I'll report on those should it occur. But
gotcha.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
So we'll go with that. So going to look at community comments. So Chun 1024-5 said he ran a list. Wrath of the Rock was Azrael the Lion, Lieutenant, regular Lieutenant with Mastercraft Storm Shield, Mastercraft Power Weapons, Storm Shield, Ancient Weapons, Intercessors, 3 Death-Dealing Knights, 10 Hellblasters, 2 5-man Vanguard Vets, 2 ATVs, and a Dark Shroud. And he asked us what we would change with this list. I haven't actually replied. Did I thought I replied to that?
Obviously, I think the idea is to put. Honestly, I might put the Lieutenant with the Hellblasters and leave Azrael with the Intercessors. So that way you can be a little more reckless with the Hellblasters. Because my problem with Azrael and the Hellblasters is you're always throwing them out there to do damage on turn 1, and then Azrael gets got.
Yep.
You cannot risk Azrael until round 3 or so, because you absolutely have to have the CP. Right? So that's what I would do. I mean, I like the idea of the Mastercrafted weapon on the Lieutenant. It's kind of an interesting idea. I would probably try and put it on something that's going to do a little bit more combat, because the Hellblasters are really shooting and they're not really fighting. But I mean, yeah, you could charge them and then with Lieutenant fall back and charge something else. So I kind of see where you're going with that. I'm interested to see how it goes. I would be interested to see how it goes. One thing you might want to do is, what if you did 5 Hellblasters with the Lieutenant and an Impulsor, and then you could drive the Impulsor around, shoot, and then your go turn, jump them out, run, shoot, charge, do a bunch of damage, fall back and start going crazy if you need to. That could be interesting.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I like that.
All right.
So VTS55 says, I think Plasma Inceptors are going to be almost auto-included in this detachment. What do you think about that, Heath, with Wrath?
Yeah, I like it.
We didn't see them.
They do a lot of damage. I played with them a little bit. They're once again, Toughness 6 is an interesting breakpoint. It makes them a little more durable. You still can't be reckless with them, but it gives you a interesting, just another threat vector. If you're like, hey, here's all this stuff, and by the way, boom, boom, shoot, blow up, right? Now, doing it with 6 Plasma Inceptors and the +2 to Strength, so they're Strength 10. Strength 10 is a really interesting breakpoint because you'll go from there's a lot of vehicles that are Toughness 9, especially like Necron stuff, right? You'll go from basically wounding on 5s to wounding on 3s, right? And that is really important. So I don't disagree with you. They're expensive, but I don't hate it at all. It's 240 points for 6 of them, but it could definitely be a thing.
All right, so Hambones is going to try a game tonight against Thousand Suns, throwing Ancient Weapons on Chaplain on bike with Outriders. So he's Strength 9, -2, 4 damage on the charge. Seems solid, and they can fall back, advance, and charge with Strat. Wanted to throw that. Wanted to put it on my Raven Wing Command Squad, but I just couldn't fit him in there. All right, and then he said we asked him how. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he said he tried it out. Only ran him with 3 Outriders. He's able to smash up some of the new robots. Strength bonus +1 to wound really helps make every attack count.
Absolutely.
Dev wounds on shooting were fine. They plinkered off a few wounds here and there. Fun. He had a fun game. Awesome. Going to Wraith Raider. So Alan Percival, OG. For what it's worth in terms of strength, I don't rate Gladius. I don't rate Company of Heroes except on the right terrain for them to work. I think Stormlance is strong still, and the new Lion helps that detachment loads. But I'm on the fence about whether or not Wrath is better. Going to do some testing to see, but it seems pretty strong. All right, so it's interesting that people are still thinking about some other things being better than Wrath, but this is also posted a month ago, so we didn't quite know what was up.
We've come a lot of understanding the technology around the Wrath list. So okay.
Yep. He also said, I built a list around Deathwing Assault, not for first turn deep strike and charge, but for taking objective. Put your scouts down first and deep strike next to them. And that objective is yours. You don't need ancient, as you want your opponent to try and take it off of you so you can countercharge them. Wrath is not Stormlance. It needs to be played very differently. So there's...
I agree. I think this is good tech, is that in that you can if you can deep strike and grab an objective, or deep strike and then move the Lion over there, right? You can basically switch your threat vector very quickly and easily, and that'll let you score primary early, or do like terraform early or things like that. Definitely something to be said for it.
Old Man Games 1992 says, did you ever try 10 Deathwing Terminators with Librarian and Inner Circle Task Force with a +1 to wound on vowed objectives? Yeah, the shooting was bad, but it's still bad now, swapping +1 to wound for +2 strength. Storm Bolters will always be bad until they get some AP. Honest, these guys must have been absolute worst point non-pistol shooting output in the entire Marines range. Yeah. It's not great, honestly, but it's fun in the right matchup. If you go into like a bunch of like horde stuff and you're like, here's my 10 dudes die. It's fun, but it doesn't get to happen very often.
Like if you want this to be a thing, do it in Gladius and give them Storm of Fire, so they're +1 AP and ignore cover, and then they're +1 to hit on your oath target, and you're sustained with the Libby. That can be a thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not going to punch up into Strength 8 stuff, but it'll throw a lot of ordnance downrange. So
but
once again, you're gonna have a hard time. You're gonna have a hard time if it's only AP1. Armor Contempt is the automatic answer. So
and then Alan wraps up with Death Guard, Death Shroud with Lord of Contagion on the charge will still be wounding on 2s plus lethals and sustained. Also, Death Guard is full lethals and crits on 5. So
do not disagree. See above. So
Yep. So that's this month. We're good, Heath?
Yeah.
All right. So thank you all for listening to this month's episode of the Path to Redemption, the Warhammer 40,000 Dark Angels podcast. Our next episode will be out in August, sort of towards the later part because of Gen Con and whatnot, and Heath's traveling. So please subscribe, like, and comment below if you're watching us on YouTube or listening to us on your preferred podcasting service. Last but not least, we would like to thank Purple Planet for the use of their music. And until next time, I'm Bailey from Dank Wargaming.
I'm Heath with TMC War Hawaii.
Stay loyal, Angels.
Remember, hope the Emperor forgives you, because the Rock is not going to.